Another huge game this weekend, of course, is on Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur take on Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, we got to talk about because they are going under the radar. And I want to put them on the radar because the manager is fantastic. I know I've been on this show with you before. You've waxed lyrical about the way that Emery is actually in a different... you got Klopp and Guardiola. Yeah. He's in the next bracket.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I believe that he is far better than any other manager in the league. Yeah. I think he's a top-tier manager. I think he deserves to be mentioned among the very best. That's not me saying that he is comparable in any way to Klopp and Guardiola, but I believe he is so superior to every other manager in the league. Look at his record in Europe. Retaining that Europa League time and time again. Arsenal fans are very unkind to Unai Emery. They never really took to him. They don't really rate him, and they're not particularly thankful to the legacy that he left. But if you look at where he had that Arsenal team, he had them in a European final. Yeah. Arsenal have a pitiful record in Europe, and he had them 90 minutes away from planting their flag in Europe. Okay, they went over to Baku and they got absolutely battered by Chelsea, something that isn't spoken about enough, in my opinion. One London club battering another one in Europe, but they finished 5th in the league and they got to a European final. He left. They finished 8th twice. And the little matter of Unai Emery coming back to Arsenal with Villarreal, beating Arteta at the Emirates, on his way to beating Manchester United in a final and winning another Europa League. He's the main man.
It's incredible,
isn't it? He's a better manager than Ten Hag. He's a better manager than Pochettino. He's a better manager than Postecoglou. He's the best manager in the league, aside from the obvious two. And that's not even controversial.
No, it's not. And you look at Villa, if they can go to Spurs, which they did last season, get a result, depending on how results go, they could be sitting second in the Premier League by Sunday evening. Now, that is incredible considering this time last year, Steven Gerrard, and what he's done. And Aston Villa are a big, big football club.
Oh, God, yeah.
A huge club.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, this is why you can see the spring in Gabby's step. That's why he's only putting 2 Spurs players in the combined 11. But to be fair, there's a good argument for his team that he's put out there because, the one thing that Villa have got as well, and I've seen the way that Emery's used, is the squad. He's using it so well. And that is why, in comparison to some of the other teams in Europe, he's bringing in the right players at the right time. He's giving other people rest when they need it as well. So then you look at Tottenham. It's a must-win game for Spurs this weekend because...
Is it?
It's absolutely...
Must win?
Must win. Must win.
I did not expect that. Tell me why.
It's because all of a sudden you go from the undefeated, our Spurs in a title race to 3 losses on the bounce with the injuries going into a game against Manchester City. Now, you do not want to go to Manchester City with 3 games lost underneath you.
No.
If, for example, if we can beat Villa this weekend, we're allowed to go to the Etihad and get a hit and go, we can take that. If you lose to Villa and then you lose to Manchester City, all of a sudden, you might be 7th.
Point against Villa?
At home, you have to win.
I don't think any... Do you know what I would say, Madge, here? I would say that nobody has to beat Villa.
Nottingham Forest do. 2-0.
They did, but...
Liverpool. Villa away is a different prospect to Villa at Villa Park at the minute. It's a little bit different, I know that they came last season and they beat Spurs at our place, but in terms of Postecoglou, the momentum that Spurs had with the injuries...
Can you win there? I just can't see a world where it happens. Can you beat Villa this weekend?
This week, absolutely. We can beat them. I respect them massively, but we have to beat them because we can't go to the Manchester City game. We've got no right for us.
So you think beat Villa and then you have a bit of grace when it comes up.
Absolutely.
Okay, I see the logic.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.